So what I want to do is first start with my story, how I came up with this concept, and how I called it Unlock the Game. And then what I'm going to do is talk about some myths that you probably think are realities now about selling. Then I'm going to go into the 3 principles behind my mindset and give you some real examples. So make sure you take notes today because I'm taking these examples right from my program. I'm going to give you real samples you could use tomorrow when you're on the phone talking to somebody, the customer, investor, whoever you're going to be talking to. Okay? I'll give you a tidbit so you can at least leave here with something to use. And for those of you who really get this and want to master it, you'll get the program at the end. Okay? So let's start. About 7 years ago, when I was still in California, and I was actually in sales, I was working for a software company. And we sold software that basically tracked user behavior on websites, the path people took and when they purchased, and that's what we sold as our product. And I was the manager of the sales team at the time. We had 30 salespeople. And I myself was working some of my accounts. So I spent about 6 months trying to land with one account, at least to a phone call. After 6 months, this company, a big company in New York, finally agreed to have a conference call with me so I can give them a live demonstration of our product. So after a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails, we finally get this call together. I'm in San Diego with my CEO in a big conference room with a conference phone in the middle of the table, and there across the country with all the right people in the room, all the decision makers, the CEO, the vice president of marketing, everybody was there. I finally got them there. This was the call, right? I'm working so hard for. And I have been trained, by the way, by all the gurus that you probably have their books in your shelves at home. I've gone through all the seminars. I listened to all the tapes. I've got it all in terms of what's out there, okay? So here is this call. So we get in the call, we say hello, and they're very nice people, and I start giving what? My demo, right, of the product. So I show them everything on the internet. They're saying things like, wow, this is fantastic. This is incredible. How many clients do you have? How long have you been in business? They were asking me what? All the right kind of questions. And of course, I had what? All the answers. Now, I wasn't pushy aggressive, but I had all the answers. And we were going back and forth, and this call there was so much chemistry on this call. It was almost like a love fest on the phone. You know, have you been there before with a client when it just felt so right? I mean, they were asking you the right kind of questions, and you had all the answers, and you were saying to yourself, what? This is a sale. This is going to happen. Right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. This call is going beautifully well. And after an hour call, they even said to me, Ari, fantastic demonstration. And how was I feeling at that point? This was the dream sales call right now, dreams call. High five in the back of my room, and good job, Ari. So we finish the call, we say our goodbyes, and they say, well, give us a call in a couple weeks. And I said, great, to follow up with us, and we'll go from there. So I say goodbye, and I reached for the phone. You know, the speaker phones that look like sort of spaceships in the middle of the conference rooms? I reached over to hit the off button, and by complete accident, I hit the mute button instead. Complete accident. Just hit the wrong button. And for whatever reason, a voice inside of me said, you know what, Ari, pull your thumb back just for a moment and go to the dark side. Go to a place where someone's gone before, which is the client side of the world. And I pulled my thumb back just for a moment, and they kept talking, thinking I had hung up the phone. So I sat back just for a moment, and they started talking amongst themselves. I remember what call we just had, right? What do you suppose I heard as they talked amongst themselves, and them thinking I had what? Hung up the phone. What do you think? Negative? Okay, like what do you think they would have said? Not for us? What else? It's all bullshit? Okay. Oh, yes, but? Okay. One of those. Well, let me tell you exactly what they said word for word. What they said was, we're not going to go with him. Keep using him for more information. And make sure that we shop someplace else cheaper. That's how it felt. Ouch. I was in a state of shock. I couldn't move. I just sat there frozen for about 15 minutes thinking to myself, now wait a second here. I did everything I was trained to do. by the gurus. I had all the answers. I didn't push anybody. I responded well. And they weren't comfortable telling me the truth. In fact, they actually lied to me. And that's what woke me up to realize there is a game going on between buyers and sellers. It has become perfectly acceptable not to tell the truth to people who what? Sell. Right? It's perfectly fine to say things like, send me information, I'm interested. Oh, sure, yeah, send me the proposal. And what are they thinking? No way. So what is going on here? Right? Why were they afraid to tell me the truth up front of what they were thinking? Why do they have to lie to me to keep the call going? What were they afraid that I might do if they told me the truth? Pressure them. Very important here. This is the operative word of this talk today, which is pressure. They were afraid if they told me the truth of what they were thinking, that I would do what even harder? Sell. Isn't that what we're trained to do by the gurus to do? People say the truth about no, we're supposed to what? Push harder. So what they were doing was merely protecting themselves from sales pressure. So it's not their fault. It's the person who's selling's fault, not really even their fault because we've been trained one way. So what I'm suggesting here today is if you can learn how to take the pressure out of the sales process and get to the truth between you and the person you're working with, what's going to happen if you get the truth of people? You're not going to be chasing anymore? More at ease? Respect? And you said it. You build real trust. And what I'm suggesting today, I have a system and a way for you to create real trust with strangers, people you don't even know, to connect with on the phone, for them to hear what you have to say, to determine the truth of whether you and them are fit or not. Does that make sense? I had to break this down really clearly so you can kind of take it from up here down to here because of the way we've been taught about selling is we should keep just going for what? The sale. They say no. What are we supposed to do? Right. So let's go down to some of these myths here because what I'm going to help you understand here that your goal is no longer the sale anymore. Your goal is what? The truth of whether, thank you, the truth of whether the sale exists or not. And boy, if you can shift your mind to that point, to that place, everything changes. Your languaging, your wording, the way you approach people.